that echoes, sharp and keen, behind the wall of comics, blue-lit glow. A secret world only the chosen know. Mike of the gray striped beard, he calls to those who hear. Mik'd up, the sound, the spell, the shroud. Mik'd up, his voice commands the crowd in the void where words take form. He whispers calm, he roars the storm. A tribal beat, it shakes the ground. His voice, a blade, it carves the sound. With scripts in hand, he teaches, he guides, go to work. A world where the truth resides. Behind the mic, the mask, the name, he plays the part, he owns the game. In every tone, a story unfolds. In every breath, the secret's told. Mik'd up, the sound, the spell, the shroud. Mik'd up, his voice commands the crowd in the void where words take form. He whispers calm, he roars the storm.
Sunrise creeping, yeah, another day. Mic on the screen, got something to say. Beard like a river, brown and so deep. Gray stripe, a secret that he does keep. Comic book colors glowing so bright. Blue light, a halo in the YouTube night. Go to work with a voice.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hello and welcome to Mik'd Up. My name's Mike. Happy Tuesday to you. This is where you come to jump in the studio with a real working voice actor. This is what I do all day. This is what I do as my full-time gig, and I decided to open my studio door to you. So if you just think it's fun and interesting, if you want to learn how to do it for work or for whatever reason you might want to do this, maybe you're trying to avoid doing your job, come and hang out. So anyways, no big lesson today. We've been covering all kinds of things lately. The 5 things to do if you want to get into voiceover, this, that, and the other, how not to pay for a demo. But today, we're just going to get to work. So we've got our first script up here. It's 5 abandoned stadiums in the U.S. So this one's always an interesting topic. I like these mega projects things that seem to be pretty popular on YouTube right now. At least I have several clients that are operating in this particular niche. So if it's your first time here, be sure to like, subscribe, do all the internet things. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Let's get recording, eh? We got a lot of work to do. I leave for vacation on Friday, so I put out a call to all my clients, and I said, hey, I'm leaving, so if you want to get ahead on some work, start sending those scripts in. And they did. I got my buddy back here. I got a hat on him now. Eh? Who knew Deadpool was a Colts fan? Get all of our noise dampeners in place. Computers are noisy little beasts in a studio. This one's 1,775 words, so not too bad. Across America, colossal stadiums that once shook with roaring crowds now sit silent. Empty seats, cracked concrete, rusting beams, fading echoes of glory. These were multi-million-dollar architectural icons, places where legends were made. Seasons were defined, and memories were written into sports history. Now, many of them are forgotten. Some still stand, untouched and decaying. Others have been reduced to rubble, erased from the skyline entirely. Today, we're remembering the giants of American sports architecture that have gone silent, the massive stadiums that now sit abandoned or in limbo. The massive stadiums that now sit abandoned or in limbo. For decades, cities across the United States competed to build bigger, louder, and more technologically advanced arenas. But as new stadium trends emerged, from retractable roofs to luxury suites to sports districts surrounded by shops and entertainment, many older stadiums simply couldn't keep up. Some have been left to degrade slowly, waiting for demolition. Others sit frozen in time while politicians debate their future. And a few have become eerie monuments to a past era of American engineering. Each one tells a story about ambition, a story about progress, and a story about what happens when the world moves on. Today, we explore these stories, the top 5 abandoned U.S. stadiums that once defined city skylines, but now sit empty. Number 1, RFK Stadium, Washington, D.C. So that was the intro section. Typically, clients and YouTube videos want the intro section to be a little more cinematic, hence the kind of slower delivery. Now we're in the main body, so I'm going to kick up the pace a little bit because it's time to get moving. Number 1, RFK Stadium, Washington, D.C. Our first stadium is one of the most historically significant sports venues in American history, the Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium. I got a thing in there that keeps clicking. I don't know if I forgot to take my allergy pill. It could be a thing. More commonly known as RFK Stadium. Opened in 1961, RFK was originally called District of Columbia Stadium and quickly became one of the most important multi-purpose stadiums in the country. It hosted just about everything. NFL football, Major League Baseball, multiple professional soccer teams, college football, concerts, political rallies, and even religious events. At one point, it was home to an NFL team. Two MLB teams, 5 different soccer clubs, 2 college football teams, and a USFL team, all sharing the same field, depending on the season. RFK was also a pioneer. It was one of the nation's first stadiums designed to host both baseball and football, and its design became the template for what would later be called the Cookie Cutter Stadium a circular or oval stadium built for multiple sports. While the term became a bit of an insult over time, RFK was the original inspiration that influenced stadiums across the U.S., including Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, and Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. The structure itself was a classic mid-20th century engineering statement. The stadium's elliptical bowl was wrapped in tall concrete ribs that gave it a rhythmic, almost Colosseum-like appearance. Inside, its lower, middle, and upper decks formed a smooth, continuous seating bowl. The stadium even featured movable seating sections, a major innovation at the time. Allowing it to shift between baseball and football configurations. At its peak, RFK seated around 56,000 fans. The entire site spanned nearly 190 acres, including vast parking lots and open public land. Making it one of the largest stadium complexes in the country. But time was not kind to the stadium. By the 2000s, RFK was aging rapidly. Maintenance costs soared while revenue declined. Because their team sucked. Between 1997 and 2019, the stadium generated about $4 to $5 million per year. Nowhere near enough to sustain its growing upkeep. Newer stadiums lured away all its major tenants, and without consistent use, the structure deteriorated fast. By 2019, RFK had officially hosted its final event. Demolition began shortly after, and is expected to be fully completed in 2026, marking the end of a 60-year era in Washington, D.C. sports history. RFK now stands as a reminder that even the biggest, most celebrated mega builds eventually face their quiet fade into history. Number 2, Aloha Stadium, Honolulu, Hawaii. Next, we head to the islands, to one of the most culturally beloved stadiums in America, Aloha Stadium. When it opened in 1975, Aloha Stadium immediately became Hawaii's biggest sports and entertainment venue. With 50,000 seats, it hosted everything from University of Hawaii football games to huge concerts to high school championships. But its most famous event was the NFL Pro Bowl. Maybe famous for the players. Which it hosted almost continuously from 1980 to 2016. For decades, Aloha Stadium was the center of Hawaii's sports universe. But the stadium wasn't just for sports. Families across the islands knew it as the home of the Aloha Stadium Swap Meet, a massive marketplace that became a cultural staple. The stadium also hosted holiday events, festivals, and community gatherings. In many ways, it was the beating heart of Honolulu's entertainment scene. However, Aloha Stadium had one major enemy: Hawaii's tropical climate. The salt-rich ocean air relentlessly attacked its steel structure. Rust spread across beams, joints, and supports, Engineers began issuing warnings as early as the 2000s, saying that critical steel components were weakening. Maintenance became a constant battle, one the state struggled to afford. By 2020, the situation had reached a breaking point. Repairing the stadium would cost between $300 and $400 million. Whoa. Repairing the stadium would cost between $300 to $400 million. Almost the same as building a new one. At the same time, the COVID-19 pandemic caused major financial strain. The state finally made the difficult decision to shut down the stadium to fans in December 2020. After 45 years of memories, Aloha Stadium was officially decommissioned. Now, demolition's underway to clear the site for the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District, also known as NACID, a massive new development that'll include a massive new development that will include a modern 22,500 seat and expandable stadium, plus shops, hotels, housing and entertainment facilities. The new stadium is scheduled to open in March 2029. That's a long build. Fans will miss the original, but a new era is on the Fans will miss the original, but a new era is on the horizon for sports in Hawaii. Number 3. I say Hawaii like an Indiana person, I think. Number 3, the Houston Astrodome, Houston, Texas. Our third stadium is perhaps the most legendary on this list, the Houston Astrodome. When it opened in 1965, it wasn't just a stadium. It was a revolution. Called the eighth wonder of the world, the Astrodome was the world's first fully enclosed, climate-controlled, domed stadium. Oh, it's a lot of words. The Astrodome was the world's first fully enclosed, climate-controlled, domed stadium. A mind-blowing engineering feat for its time. AI could design... Stop with my commentary and get work done. I got too much to mess around. The dome's roof was made of thousands of semi-apparent lucite panels that formed a perfect circular shell over the field. Inside, the stadium was kept air-conditioned, allowing games to be played in complete comfort regardless of Houston's heat. It featured a four-story Astrolight scoreboard. The first of its kind, complete with animations and special effects. The Astrodome also changed sports forever by introducing the world to AstroTurf. Football players everywhere are cringing. The first major synthetic playing surface, after natural grass failed to grow inside the dome. Throughout its life, the stadium hosted an incredible variety of events. The Houston Astros, the Houston Rockets, the Houston Oilers, rodeos, conventions, concerts, and even legendary Tejano superstar Selena. In 2005, it famously served as a massive emergency shelter for evacuees during Hurricane Katrina. But over time, the Astrodome became outdated. New stadiums were built for the Astros and Texans, leaving the dome without a primary tenant. In 2008, fire code issues made it unsafe for public events, and it was officially closed. Demolition plans repeatedly stalled because of concerns about damaging nearby structures, and because many in Houston still love the dome and want it preserved. Over the years, city leaders have proposed transforming it into everything from a hotel to an indoor theme park. to most recently a huge underground parking facility. But none of these plans have gained enough traction. Today, the Astrodome sits in limbo, a massive shell frozen in time, waiting for a purpose. Remember when this used to be a big name? Number 4, Pontiac Silverdome, Pontiac, Michigan. Few abandoned stadiums in America have a story as dramatic as the Pontiac Silverdome. Opened in 1975, the Silverdome was one of the largest stadiums in the country, seating around 80,000 fans beneath a futuristic air-supported roof made of Teflon-coated fiberglass. That would have been awful to build. It was a marvel of engineering, using air pressure to keep the enormous white dome inflated. The stadium became famous as the longtime home of the... I don't know why the Lions make me laugh like that, but they do. Sorry, Lions fans. The stadium became famous as the longtime home of the Detroit Lions. That's going to be tough to get out for some reason. The stadium became famous as the longtime home of the Detroit Lions. It also hosted the Detroit. It's the Detroit that's hard to get out. It also hosted the Detroit Pistons for a decade, WrestleMania 3, which set a world indoor attendance record at the time, the 1994 FIFA World Cup, major concerts, monster truck events, and even Pope John Paul II. But when the Lions moved to Ford Field in 2002, nobody cared. Stop it. The Silverdome entered a long period of decline. Without a primary tenant, the structure deteriorated rapidly. Harsh Michigan winters caused major roof failures. The city struggled financially and sold the stadium for just $583,000 in 2009. Less than the price of many single-family homes today. Ugh. The new owners attempted a revival. The Silverdome reopened in 2010 and hosted soccer matches, concerts, HBO boxing events, and monster truck shows. But time caught up again. The roof failed completely. Seats were stolen. Copper wiring was stripped. Copper wiring was stripped, and the building became impossible to maintain. Probably not technically impossible. Come on. Oh, excuse me. In 2013, the stadium closed for good. Demolition began in 2017, and today the site's been completely redeveloped. An Amazon fulfillment and delivery center now stands where the Silverdome once dominated the skyline. Of course, Amazon, a modern replacement for a once iconic venue. Number 5, Sam Boyd Stadium, Whitney, Nevada. Whitney. Our final stadium is Sam Boyd Stadium. Our final stadium is Sam Boyd Stadium, located just outside Las Vegas in Whitney, Nevada. Opened in 1971, Sam Boyd Stadium started with a modest capacity of about 15,000 seats. But over time, it expanded to hold up to 40,000. The horseshoe-shaped stadium became the longtime home of UNLV football and hosted some of the biggest events in the region. Sam Boyd wasn't just a college football venue. It became famous for hosting AMA Supercross, the Monster Jam World Finals, USA Sevens Rugby, professional soccer matches and concerts by artists like U2, Metallica, and the Grateful Dead. From sports to music to motorsports, Sam Boyd Stadium was a versatile, hard-working facility. But its fortunes changed in 2020 when Allegiant Stadium, the new home of the Las Vegas Raiders, and UNLV opened just a few miles away. With a brand new state-of-the-art $1.9 billion stadium available, nearly every major event left Sam Boyd behind. Without its primary tenants, and with maintenance costs continuing to rise, Sam Boyd Stadium officially closed in December 2020. In 2025, UNLV sold the property back to Clark County for $5 million. As of today, the stadium remains closed, and its long-term future is still uncertain. Stadiums are more than concrete and steel. They're monuments to moments, to the cheers, to the heartbeats, to the cheers, the heartbreaks, the history, and the unforgettable events that unfold inside them. But even the biggest, most legendary arenas can't outrun time. As new mega projects rise, these abandoned giants remind us that every monumental structure eventually faces its afterlife. So the next time you're inside a brand new state-of-the-art billion-dollar stadium, remember the legends and the ghosts that came before it. Yeah, see? Brad said, I forgot when they built Lucas Oil Stadium. Did they build it on the same spot as the RCA Dome? I don't remember. I remember I marched in the RCA Dome. I remember it being a thing. And then I remember... That was weird. And then I remember them building Lucas Oil because it was the house that Peyton built. But I don't remember the in-between. So let's get over into editing mode. And let's check out in the world here real quick. Everything looks okay in the stream. I seem super bright. Just turning this off too much. Yeah, that's probably a little too dark, isn't it? Oi. Oi, vey. Yeah, it'll be all right. All right. So, we've got carryover work from yesterday. We're still listening to this AI track here about AI news. So anybody, if you're new, there's a two-part process to post-production. There's audio proofing, which is a fancy way of saying we listen to it and we remove mistakes. That track has already been cut. All the space in between words, all the weird little pops and sounds that we see on the waveform is gone. And while that's playing, because we won't do much on that screen for the majority of the time, and that's going to be your green screen that you see right now. When you see that, that means we're listening. And then, let's see, I already cut that. We're cutting this one. This gray screen here is where you see all those spaces, all this little crap in between the tall waveforms. These big tall ones are claps where I need to put in a space because those are two different sections there. And they need a space to make them like sound like separate sections. So we do all this silently because we don't need to listen to it. So yeah, we cut it up and then we listen to it. And that's where we're at. Oh, and before I started the stream today, I didn't ask him if I could live stream it. But I didn't figure he would want me to. But I did get to do there's a fight coming up, and I got to do a fight trailer this morning. And those are always fun because then you get the deep voice and the real dramatic trailer stuff going on. I really enjoyed it. So that got done. And then it may actually interfere with the stream a little bit tomorrow, because the way that particular situation works is he sends me the script and some other audio. He sends me some stuff, and then I record it. And this is one of my few clients that we do live revisions. And I don't know, he's in a time crunch, so I don't know that this would be the one that we could see about putting that on stream, because it would be fun and valuable for anybody doing voiceover to see a live session. So he'll be on the line with me, and I'll be recording in real time as he like literally says the lines out loud with the way he wants me to say it, and then we record extra tracks that might need replaced in the trailer, and then I send him that, and he assembles everything, and it's some rad stuff for sure. I just don't know if we'll be able to stream that session tomorrow, and it might interfere with the stream. We'll see. But anyways, let's get to this. Because the DNA in the soil is still there, just broken into pieces that only AI can sort. Number 2, AI detected gravitational wave aftershocks no one knew existed. Gravitational waves are tiny ripples in space created by massive events, like black hole collisions. The problem is that the signals are so faint that most of the data gets buried. Like black hole collisions. The problem is that the signals are so faint that it's created by massive events, like black hole collisions. The problem is that the signals are so faint that most of the data gets buried in noise. Physicists trained deep learning models on data from detectors like LIGO and found something surprising. After the main gravitational wave signal passed, there were faint echoes. LIGO and found something surprising. After the main gravitational wave signal passed, there were faint echoes that traditional methods never picked up. Some researchers believe these echoes could be caused by distorted space-time around merging black holes. Others think it might be a new type of physical interaction. Others think it might be a new type of physical interaction. Others think it might be a new type around merging black holes. Others think it might be a new type of physical interaction. It's still being researched, but the detection might be a new type of physical interaction. It's still being researched, but the detection itself came from AI, not a telescope, which shows how much hidden information is still sitting in old data. Number 1, AI predicted dark matter distribution without physics equations. Dark matter is invisible. Number 1, AI predicted dark matter distribution without physics equations. Dark matter is invisible. So scientists normally use complex equations. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear it on the stream, but there's a weird little bassy thing that happens right before I start this word, and it's that little tail somehow. So let's listen to it again, see if you can hear it. Physics equations. Dark matter is invisible. So scientists... It's like a weird little thing, and it's coming from that. So I'm going to take that out. It automatically kind of rolls that in a little bit, which is good because I want it to kind of fade in so you don't hear the little clunk from where it got cut off. And now it should sound quite a bit better. Let's try it again. Matter is invisible. So scientists normally use complex equations and simulations to model where it might be in the universe. A new model was trained directly on telescope data and learned how So you can kind of see why I've started doing it this way, because it's super efficient. You can go back and just keep on cutting and just keep letting this green one play, and then when we find a mistake, just jump over real quick, figure out where the mistake is, fix it, hit play, go back, start cutting some more. works complex equations and simulations to model where it might be in the universe. A new model was trained directly on telescope data and learned how galaxies and dark matter interact. Without being told the rules of gravity, it created dark matter maps that matched the results of top physics simulations. It even spotted relationships between galaxies and invisible mass that humans never defined mathematically. Researchers are calling it one of the first examples of AI discovering physical patterns on its own, which is typically what we're good at. Instead of replacing physics, it gives scientists on its own, which is typically what we're good at. AI discovering physical patterns on its own. Instead of replacing physics, it gives scientists new ideas to test. If you made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. And if you haven't seen part 1, part 2, or part 3 of this video, make sure you watch them right now. Make sure you watch them right now. Thanks for watching. Part 3 of this video, make sure you watch them right now. Make sure you watch them right now. Thanks. Seen part 1, part 2, or part 3 of this video, make sure you watch them right now. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and render that real quick. I know you don't see the screens that have popped up, but I'm selecting the folder. I'm going to normalize it to -12 dB. That turns the overall volume up, makes it sound a little poppier. We're going to set the brick wall limit to a peak of -1. That means it's never going to peak out or make your speaker pop. Then we're going to go through and reflect this being complete on my schedule. And this one was this much, and I think this was 2 out of 3. Yes, this particular client and I, we always do, we handle payments in bundles of 3. So I'll supply 3 voiceovers, and then we settle up. It's a pretty okay little system. I usually don't like to go more than like 3 at a time unless I really know the client well, because working in advance, it's a good way to get burned. I've been burned, and it's not fun. Brad says, what are your favorite and least favorite scripts to read? You know, it really depends on the day. In my mood, like some days I feel like being a performer, so I want big, entertaining, funny things. Other days I'm feeling more like a nerd, so I just want to read some nerd stuff. I used to do some space channels and some like Cosmos type stuff. That was super exciting. Hopefully I'll get some more of those. I really like doing the football ones, NFL football, because I follow football regularly, so it's like reading about something I actually care about. I don't typically like super technical ones. As anybody that's been watching the stream knows, I can really struggle on those and have to redo a bunch of lines. Not always. There's some days where I'll rip them out like gravy, and it's great, but other times it's a little bit of a struggle. Least favorite. You know, I don't have any that I can't think of any that I like explicitly don't like doing, like any specific category of script that's just like, nope. I don't know that I have any of those. I probably do that I'm just not thinking about. I'm sure there's probably something. Celebrity ones are usually a little bit lame, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Celebrity ones, just because I'm so uninterested in that topic in general. And I'm usually ignorant to like the names and stuff because I don't pay attention to pop culture at all. And then online influencer ones, not because I don't like to read them, but it's more of a I don't know anything about it, so it's usually a bunch of names that I don't know how to pronounce. Hockey ones can be annoying because I don't watch hockey, so I don't know those names either, and those are super name specific. Those Canadians got some weird names, man. Like Patrick Waugh. Crazy. It's spelled Patrick Roy. Straight up Roy. R-O-Y, and it's pronounced Waugh. Come on. I had to do so many corrections to a voiceover once. What exactly is it that I'm doing? I'm looking for this guy so I can upload it, and I'll hit play on the next one as soon as I get this upload started. I just wanted to keep my mind occupied properly. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to start listening to 6 urban planning trends that will shape cities in the 2030s. And I think this was our brand new client one. Let me go check. Yeah, it is. Okay. I think I kind of struggled with it, but hey, cool. Another script coming in here shortly. It's a bit of a sprint here because going to vacate. We're leaving for vacation on Friday, and yeah, like I said, I let all my clients know, so they're bringing it. They're busting it out now. All right, let's see how YouTube Land's going. YouTube Land's going okay. That short that I put out this morning starting to get a little bit of steam. This is a different one, kind of, with the little commercial thing or cartoon thingies. Canada, eh? I love it. Okay, so, let's hit play on this, and I'll finish doing all my other computer stuff while we're doing that. Anyways, yeah, this is a first read for this client. Number one, 15-minute city. Think of a city where everything you need, be it your office, school, parks, or even the hospital, is just a 15-minute walk or bike ride away. Sounds convenient, right? Well, that's exactly the idea behind the 15-minute city. And it's already starting to reshape the urban lifestyle around the world. City planners are working on creating neighborhoods that are self-sufficient. City planners are working on creating lifestyle around the world. City planners are working on creating neighborhoods that are self-sufficient, ultimately reducing people's reliance on cars that are self-sufficient. I think there's something, I think that got cut off and there's something at the end. Let's pull it open and see. Yes. That are self-sufficient. Yes. Got it. That's going to sound better. Are working on creating neighborhoods that are self-sufficient, ultimately reducing people's reliance on cars and other vehicles while also strengthening community connections. One of the standard examples of this urban planning trend can be seen in Paris. Mayor Anne Hidalgo has made the 15-minute city concept into a Mayor Anne Hidalgo has made the 15-minute can be seen in Paris. Mayor Anne Hidalgo has made the 15-minute city concept into a reality with over 50 operational 50-minute Mary Ann Hidalgo has made the Mary Ann Hidalgo has made. So you want to be a voiceover artist, eh? In Paris, Mary Ann Hidalgo has made the 15-minute city concept into reality with over 50 operational 15-minute neighborhoods already in place. The areas in question offer in Paris. Mary Ann Hidalgo has made the 15-minute city concept into reality with over 50 operational 15-minute neighborhoods already in place. The areas in question offer a high quality of life with almost everything easily accessible. These neighborhoods have also accessible. These neighborhoods have also reduced car emissions. These neighborhoods have also reduced car emissions. Everything easily accessible. These neighborhoods have also reduced car emissions, bringing back a healthier, more walkable way of life. Bringing back a healthier, more walkable way of life. So reduced car emissions. Bringing back a healthier, more walkable way of life. But that's not all. Other cities around the world are also catching up. Take a way of life. But that's not all. Other cities around the world are also catching up. Take Melbourne, for example. Despite the challenge of its large urban sprawl, the city's working on adapting this model. The goal the goal to make sure this model, the goal to make sure on adapting this model, the goal to make sure that everything people need is close by, even in a city like Melbourne. Barcelona has its own take with its Super Blocks program. By redesigning city blocks, the program aims to reduce car traffic. Giving more city blocks. The program aims to reduce city blocks. The program aims to reduce car traffic, giving more attention to pedestrian and cycling spaces. The project also involves turning the streets. The project also pedestrian and cycling spaces. The project also involves turning the streets into green public spaces that'll help tackle pollution. And in Shanghai, by 2035, the plan is to make sure that that'll help tackle pollution. And in Shanghai, by 2035, the plan's to make sure that 99% of the public service. The plan is to make sure that 99% of the public service. In Shanghai, by 2035, the plan's to make sure that 99% of the 2035. The plan is to make sure that 99% of the public services are accessible within a 15-minute walk. I think that sounds like a great idea. Get people walking within a 15-minute walk. I think that sounds like a great. But Brad brings up a great point. 15 minutes walking distance is great if you're able to walk for 15 minutes. Amen, brother. But at least you get to go to work with a voice actor like Tay-Tay. Eh? 5. The plan is to make sure that 99% of the public services are accessible within a 15-minute walk. So, with major cities around the world already making strides toward this model, it seems that by the 2030s, more and more cities will be following a similar urban plan. As cities aim to create more walkable, self-contained, it seems that by the 2030s, more and more cities will be following a similar urban plan. As cities aim to create more walkable, self-contained neighborhoods, there's another trend that's empowering communities to take neighborhoods. There's another trend that's in neighborhoods. There's another trend that's in neighborhoods. There's another trend that's empowering communities to take urban change into their own hands. Number 2, tactical urbanism. Tactical urbanism is another urban planning. Tactical urbanism is another urban planning trend that's been making waves in the world by offering quick, low-cost, and creative solutions to make neighborhoods better. Offering quick, low-cost, and creative solutions to make neighborhoods better. What makes this trend different from others is the fact that it's not actually the work of government officials, but instead it's more of a community effort. Instead of waiting for the government to put forward slow-paced projects, tactical urbanism encourages locals to set up and test new ideas. Hi, Mom. Urbanism encourages locals to set up and test new ideas that could improve their neighborhood faster and more efficiently. These ideas could include urbanism encourages locals to set up and test new ideas that could improve their neighborhood faster and more efficiently. These ideas could include pop-up bike lanes, colorful street art, creating pedestrian plazas, and even turning parking spaces into parklets to give people a chance to enjoy a pedestrian-friendly environment. This strategy involves everyone from the residents to local businesses and pedestrian-friendly environment. This strategy involves everyone from the residents to local businesses and even the city planners, all working together on building spaces that feel more welcoming and safe. And the best part? These projects are temporary. The best part? These projects and safe. And the best part? These projects are that feel more welcoming and safe. And the best part? These projects are temporary and can be easily undone if they don't seem to work out. However, at the same time, these projects can also easily be turned into permanent changes if the community loves them. One major example of tactical urbanism is New York City's the community loves them. One major example of tactical urbanism is New York City's Open Streets program. This program started during the COVID-19 pandemic when the city temporarily closed off streets. This program started during the COVID-19 pandemic when this program started New York City's Open Streets program. This program started during the COVID-19 pandemic when the city temporarily closed off streets to cars. This lack of cars ultimately opened up more space for cyclists and pedestrians. The idea was so effective that it's now become part of the city's long-term urban planning strategy. Portland, Oregon has also embraced tactical urbanism as pop-up bike lanes and parklets have also embraced tactical urbanism as pop-up bike lanes and parklets have transformed ordinary streets into lively community-driven spaces. Mexico City parklets have transformed ordinary streets into lively community-driven spaces. Mexico City also uses this strategy. Mexico City also uses the lively community-driven spaces. Mexico City also uses this strategy by creating temporary plazas and pedestrian-friendly zones, reclaiming the public spaces that were once dominated by traffic. This approach is changing the way we think about urban spaces, turning them into places where communities can connect, enjoy, and contribute to make the lifestyle better in several different ways. While tactical urbanism offers quick, community-driven fixes in several different ways. While tactical urbanism offers quick, community-driven fixes for urban spaces, another approach is emerging that focuses on quick, community-driven fixes for urban spaces. Another approach is emerging that focuses on long-term sustainability and resilience. And yes, the Priest song, Brad, I do thoroughly enjoy that one. Number 3, climate and resilience. Climate resilient design. As climate change accelerates, the world is witnessing natural disasters and extreme weather events. With rising temperatures and melting glaciers, the conditions are getting unpredictable and dangerous. The cities are constantly at risk of flooding and other catastrophic events. To address this issue, urban planners are focusing weather events. With rising temperatures and melting glaciers, the conditions are getting unpredictable and dangerous. The cities are constantly at risk of flooding and other catastrophic events. To address this issue, urban planners are focusing on designing cities that are more climate resistant. These buildings are meant to endure and recover from severe weather. The goal isn't just to protect buildings and infrastructure, but also to create environments that remain safe, sustainable, and most importantly, livable, even under extreme conditions. Remain safe, sustainable, and most importantly, livable, even under sustainable and most importantly. Sustainable and most importantly, livable. environments that remain safe, sustainable, and most importantly, livable, even under extreme conditions. Sustainable and most importantly, livable, even under extreme conditions. One key strategy in this effort is to build more green infrastructure to address the shortage of greenery in urban areas. With green infrastructure, cities feature more parks, green roofs, and permeable pavements with water management. Green infrastructure. That whole section just travels far too slow, so I'm going to go in there and try to slice out some space in between some of this. The shortage of greenery in urban areas. With green infrastructure, cities feature more parks, green roofs, and permeable pavements with water management systems to help reduce flooding and heat. So now, so that in an effort to not micromanage what I just did, I'm just going to take the cursor back a little bit in time. I'm going to hit play, and I'm just going to let it all hit me again for the first time, basically. Safe, sustainable, and most importantly, livable, even under extreme conditions. One key strategy in this effort is to build more green infrastructure to address the shortage of greenery in urban areas. With green infrastructure, cities feature more parks, green roofs, and permeable pavements with water management systems to help reduce flooding and heat. One great example of this type of urban planning is Malmo, Sweden. After experiencing flooding, Malmo, Sweden. After experiencing flooding, the Augustenborg neighborhood was redesigned. Great example of this type of urban planning is Malmo, Sweden. After experiencing flooding, the Augustenborg neighborhood was redesigned with open canals, green roofs, and ponds to absorb more of the stormwater. The Augustenborg neighborhood designed with open canals, green roofs, and ponds to absorb more of the stormwater. Open canals, green roofs, and ponds to absorb more of the stormwater. This approach worked perfectly, and during a major storm in 2014, Augustenborg saw an 80% reduction in runoff compared to other areas. Another great example of climate-resistant design can be seen in Denmark's Enghavparken design can be seen in Denmark's Enghavparken Climate Park. It captures thousands of climate-resistant design can be seen in Denmark's Enghavparken Climate Park. It captures thousands of cubic meters of stormwater while also preserving the historical landscape around it. Similarly, Singapore's lakeside garden used wetlands and nature-inspired Get in the lower register, bro. Similarly, Singapore's preserving the historical landscape around it. Similarly, Singapore's lakeside garden used wetlands and nature-inspired play areas to manage water and restore local habitats. The focus on integrating nature into urban design has even extended to bus stops in Polish cities, where green roofs are being used to absorb rainwater and reduce heat. These climate-resilient designs not only help cities to absorb rainwater and reduce heat. These climate-resilient designs not only help cities survive in an area. These climate-resilient designs, not Polish cities, where green roofs are being used to absorb rainwater and reduce heat. These climate-resilient designs not only help cities survive in an era of climate change, but they also bring back the greenery and natural beauty we've lost, creating more sustainable and thriving urban environments. Building cities that can withstand climate extreme, more sustainable and thriving urban environments. Building cities that can withstand climate extremes is Monday. Building cities sustainable and thriving urban environments. Building cities that can withstand climate extremes is critical, but so is ensuring that these cities remain connected to nature. And that's exactly what this next urban planning. There's a little puff of air before that. Connected to nature. And that's right there. So I like the spacing, so I'm just going to turn it down. So is ensuring that these cities remain connected to nature. And that's exactly what this next urban planning trend is about. Number 4, urban green corridors and biodiversity. Urban green corridors are another strategy that connects cities with parks, gardens, rivers, and forests. And forests to create seamless are another strategy that connects cities with parks, gardens, rivers, and forests. And forests to create gardens, rivers, and forests to create seamless networks of green space. But these corridors do more than just look beautiful. They seamless networks of green space. But these corridors do more than just look beautiful. They serve a vital role in saving urban wildlife, supporting biodiversity, and protecting animal habitats. These green spaces are beneficial for both the environment and protecting animal habitats. These green spaces are beneficial for both the environment and urban life, as they allow nature to thrive while ensuring that the city remains fully functional and vibrant, as they allow nature to thrive while ensuring that the city for both the environment and urban life, as they allow nature to thrive while ensuring that the city remains fully functional and vibrant. One great example of this type of urban planning is Madrid's Manzanares River, which has been restored to its natural flow. Vibrant. One great example of this type of urban planning is Madrid's Manzanares River, which has been restored to its Manzanares River, which has been restored to its natural flow, ultimately supporting native plants along an 8-kilometer stretch. Not just that, this concept's been embraced with impressive. Not just that, along an 8-kilometer stretch. Not just that, this concept's been embraced.
That's cut off. Let's find that T. And a little bit of space. Let's try this now.
Stretch. Not just that, this concept's been embraced with impressive results in Singapore as well. The project known as the City in a Garden in Singapore, impressive results in Singapore as well. The project known as the City in a Garden in Singapore has integrated lush green spaces into its dense urban environment. It's similar to the iconic Gardens by the Bay, which features solar-powered super trees. These trees not only house diverse plant life, but also help cool the bay, which features solar-powered super trees. These trees not only house diverse plant life, but also help cool the city naturally. Singapore also boasts a massive network of green paths and parks, promoting biodiversity and encouraging outdoor activities. Urban green corridors are proving to be a smart and sustainable way to balance urban development with the preservation of nature, creating spaces where both people and wildlife can flourish. The creation of urban green corridors is just one way cities are evolving to balance nature and development. But this next trend offers a more tech-driven solution. They're evolving to balance nature and development. But this next trend offers a more tech-driven solution. Number 5, smart city technologies. Smart city technologies are transforming urban life by connecting devices, systems, and entire infrastructures through the Internet of Things. IoT. Systems and entire infrastructures through the Internet of Things.
I feel like there's a big redo that happens here soon.
Devices, system. Oh man, I think somebody else is in this script. It literally just changed. This is a Google document.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whatever, so we can be in it at the same time. Come on, what are you doing to me now? You can't do that when I'm working. Smart city technology.
Okay, so let's find it.
Smart city tech.
Okay, there it is. So let's just get rid of all that and bring that back up. And hope the rest of this isn't such a mess. We're at minute 9, and this is about 13 minutes long. That's not so bad. We're getting there. I've contemplated
tracking the money made during the stream. I don't know if that's too transparent. I don't know if that's given too much private information. If y'all want to stew on that out there and give me your opinion on what you think of that. Because on one hand, I think it would be fun to, like, track the day. But again, on the other hand, it's a little much. Smart city technologies. Smart city technologies are transforming urban life by connecting devices, systems, and entire infrastructures through the Internet of Things, IoT, creating more efficient and sustainable cities. Artificial intelligence plays a big role in this shift, helping design urban spaces that operate seamlessly while reducing environmental impact. One example of this in action is seamlessly while reducing the system uses environmental impact. The system uses wire while reducing environmental impact. One example of this in action is Amsterdam's dynamic guided parking system. The system uses wireless sensors to track parking space availability in real time, reducing traffic from drivers searching for spots and cutting down on sensors to track parking space availability in real time, reducing traffic from drivers searching for spots and cutting down on CO2 emissions. Singapore is also leveraging smart technology with initiatives like smart energy grids. So leveraging smart technology with initiatives like smart energy grids. These grids optimize electricity use and smoothly integrate renewable energy. Smart energy grids. These grids optimize electricity use and smoothly integrate renewable energy sources, making the city more energy efficient and sustainable. In the U.S., New York has implemented IoT-powered flood monitoring systems to better prepare for climate-related challenges. Do you ever watch finished client's video in an effort to see what you could do better? Yeah, I try to as much as possible. With the sheer volume of work that I do now, I don't get to watch too much of the finished product or the finished videos. I do subscribe to them on YouTube, so I try to get the notifications and check them out when I can. So, yeah, I constantly try to improve. I'm over here daydreaming about Florida, I'll tell you that. In, what is today, Tuesday? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In 4 days, I'll be sitting on the beach. Maybe I'll do some shorts so that you all can be there with me. City more energy efficient and sustainable. In the U.S., New York has implemented IoT-powered flood monitoring systems to better prepare for climate-related challenges. This technology helps predict and manage potential flooding, allowing the city to act before problems arise. Micro-transit services like the app-based minibuses in the Woodlands, Texas, and several mid-sized Canadian cities are helping reduce reliance on private vehicles. These services make transportation more accessible while cutting down on traffic and pollution. With the continued advancement of these smart technologies, cities are set to be accessible while cutting down on traffic and pollution. With the continued advancement of these smart technologies, cities are set to become hubs of innovation. Cities are set to become hubs. Cities are set to become smart technologies. Cities are set to become hubs of innovation by the I see. That doesn't need a cut in it, so I'm just going to bring it all back out. There we go. Oh, no, the script coming in. Cities are set to become hubs of innovation by the 2030s, offering more sustainable and efficient living conditions, environments. The future of urban planning isn't just about building new systems. It's also about preserving the old. And this next urban planning strategy is all about helping cities hold on to their heritage. Number 6, adaptive reuse and historic preservation. The last trend on our list is adaptive reuse, which is essentially potential flooding, allowing the city to act before problems arise. Micro-transit services like the app-based minibuses in the Woodlands, Texas, and several mid-sized Canadian cities are helping reduce reliance on private vehicles. These services make transportation more accessible while cutting down on traffic and pollution. With the continued advancement of these smart technologies, cities are set to become hubs of innovation by the 2030s, offering more sustainable and efficient living conditions, offering more sustainable and efficient living environments. They become hubs of innovation by the 2030s, offering more sustainable and efficient living environments. The future of urban planning isn't just about building new systems. It's also about preserving the old. And this next urban planning strategy is all about helping cities hold on to their heritage. Number 6, adaptive reuse and historic preservation. The last trend on our list is adaptive reuse, which is essentially the idea of recycling, but instead of trash, it focuses on reusing reuse, which is essentially the idea of recycling, but instead of trash, it focuses on reusing buildings. This is arguably one of the most ingenious ideas in urban planning, as it's not about building something new, but rather incorporating the structures that are already standing. It gives purpose to these historic buildings that are sitting idle and facing wear and tear over the years. Rather than demolishing them, adaptive reuse preserves their character and turns them into functional spaces, often with a creative twist. These buildings, such as old apartments or abandoned factories, are often turned into museums or other cool places, making it a perfect way to preserve the local heritage. London's Tate Modern Gallery is an iconic example way to preserve the local heritage. London's Tate Modern Gallery is an iconic example that uses the building of a disused power station. And London's Tate Modern Gallery is an iconic London's Tate of the local heritage. London's Tate Modern Gallery is an iconic example that uses the building of a disused power station and is now known as one of the world's most visited art museums. Another example is New York City's High Line, which was world's most visited art museums. Another example is New York City's High Line, which was previously an abandoned elevated railway, now turned into a lush urban park that attracts tourists from all over the world. The trend park that attracts Another example is New York City's High Line, which was previously an abandoned elevated railway, now turned into a lush urban park that attracts tourists from all over the world. The trend of adaptive reuse is booming right now from all over the world. The trend of adaptive reuse is booming right now, and hopefully by the 2030s, all of these historic buildings will serve a new purpose while preserving the stories they gathered from the past. Hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also press the bell icon so preserving the stories they gathered from the past. Hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and also press the bell icon so you won't miss out on new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Oi, it's every bit Monday, isn't it? Yes, time. Oi, it's watching, and we'll see.
It was every bit. Okay, so let's see. This is going to be... I got to get my calculator out. This times this equals that. Hey, that's cool. Okay, let's get this What's this dude's name? Hey, don't be hating. It was the first time I read for the guy. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry, Linda. Wait, what? Well, here. Let's not be so boring, eh? You know, I'm going to start with this opening track again. The opening track for today. I love this song so much. I'm just going to let this play for a second while I do my back end work here.
In the shadows, he speaks, unseen, a voice that echoes, sharp and keen, behind the wall of comics, blue-lit glow, a secret world only the chosen know. Mike of the gray striped beard, he calls to those who hear. Mik'd up, the sound, the spell, the shroud. Mik'd up, his voice commands the crowd in the void where words take form. He whispers calm, he roars the storm. A tribal beat, it shakes the ground.
I'm not a dancing man, but this could get me dancing.
A blade, it carves the sound. With scripts in hand, he teaches, he guides, go to work. A world where the truth resides. Behind the mic, the mask, the name, he plays the part, he owns the game. In every tone, a story unfolds. In every breath, the secret's told. Mik'd up, the sound, the spell, the shroud. Mik'd up, his voice commands the crowd in the void where words take form. He whispers calm, he roars the storm.
So heavy.
Sunrise
Could be like a Verizon commercial song or something.
It's
got that crisp, clean sound, doesn't it? Okay, so
Beard like a river, brown and so deep. Gray stripe, a secret that he does keep. Comic book colors glowing so bright. Blue light, a halo in the YouTube night. Go to work with a voice actor, man. Yeah, that's the show, yeah, that's the plan. Mike's in the booth making magic with sound. Best voice in the whole wide town. Go to work, go to
okay. So we got all that cut up. Let's get back in here. We're not done chopping, which means we're not ready to read yet. That's how that rule works. We keep chopping until we ain't got nothing else to chop. Wife tells husband, when you aren't wearing your glasses, you still look exactly like that young man that I fell in love with all those years ago. He says, without my glasses, you look good too. Mik'd up. All right. So this guy comes up to me and he says, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam. I said, relax, man, you're too tense. The NFL salary system is rigged, and no one talks about it. Who is this? Oh, yeah, I know who this is.
What if I told you the
What if I
NFL salary
told you-
system, the one that decides who becomes a millionaire, who becomes disposable, and who never gets the payday they deserve, is rigged? Not rigged in the sense of cheating, rigged in the sense of a system built on cold math, hidden formula, and decades of unspoken rules that make sure certain players cold math, hidden formula, and decades of unspoken rules that make sure certain players get rich while others get used, replaced, and forgotten. Because once you look behind the curtain, you realize something. The NFL doesn't pay players based on how good they are. It pays them based on how easy they are. It pays them based on how easy they are, good they are. It pays them.
The school is letting out at 12:30.
Okay, why?
Next time weather.
Is there weather coming in? Oh.
Look, I just came up to tell you to. I don't have a lot of time, but I knew you didn't get the message, so.
I love you. School's letting out early.
Used, replaced,
Nothing.
replaced, and forgotten. Because once you look behind the curtain, you realize something. The NFL doesn't pay players based on how good they are. It pays them based on how easy they are to replace. Today, we're breaking down the entire NFL salary structure. That sounded weird. Today, we're breaking down the entire NFL.
So that means, ladies and gentlemen, our stream is going to be cut considerably short today because I need to leave in like 30 minutes to go get the boy. Maybe there's bad weather coming through. I don't really know exactly what's going on. Maybe a water main break or something. My wife just came in and said that school's letting out at 12:30. All right. I don't think coming back to stream more makes a lot of sense, so I think I'm just going to have to cut it short today, so let's get to it.
Based on how good they are. It pays them based on how easy they are to replace. Today, we're breaking down the entire NFL salary structure, the hidden economics of the league, the secret analytics teams down the entire NFL salary structure, the hidden economics of the league, the secret analytics teams actually use, why some positions get paid crazy money while others get scraps, and the truth behind the phrase every GM loves to say, it's just business. But the business? Yeah, it's a little darker than fans realize. Let's start at the top with the position that broke the whole... Let's start at the top with the position that broke the whole system. Let's start at the top with the position that broke the whole... Let's start at the top with the position... It's a little darker than fans realize. Let's start at the top with the position that broke the whole system. The quarterback problem and why they broke the system. Quarterbacks don't get paid like football players. Quarterback problem and why. Quarterback problem and why. And why. Whole system. The quarterback problem and why they broke the system. Quarterbacks don't.
I had a little bit of a mouth click going on at this part of the day. That happens sometimes.
The system. Quarterbacks don't get paid like football players. They get paid like entertainment assets. Because in the NFL's eyes, a quarterback doesn't simply help a team win. He represents. Because in the NFL's eyes, a quarterback doesn't simply help a team win. He represents hope. Help a team win. He represents hope, and hope is worth billions. Here's the hidden formula teams use when paying quarterbacks. Potential is greater than performance. Scarcity is greater than talent. Can we replace him? Is greater than talent. Scarcity is greater than talent. Can we replace him? Is greater than is he worth it? That's why even average quarterbacks get generational money. A mid-tier quarterback can earn $40 million a year, not because he's elite, but because they earn $40 million a year. Not
I hate it when that happens.
Million a year. Not.
It's way in there. It's a lot further in there than I thought it would be. Let me show you an old technique I used to use. I don't use this as much anymore because I guess I've just gotten better at not clicking, so I haven't had to do it as much, but
$40 million a year. Not million a year. Million a year. Million a year. Million a year.
There it is.
Million a year.
Okay.
Not.
Okay, so we bring them together. We maybe crossfade them just a hair. And let's see how it sounds. This historically doesn't sound great, but the crossfade overlap may save it. Let's check it out.
Get generational money. A mid-tier quarterback can earn $40 million a year. Not because he's elite, but because
really
the
good.
fear of not having a quarterback is more terrifying than over.
So we just learned something there. I learned something. So what was happening is right there at this section in the word, there was a little mouth click. It was either some kind of sound from my mouth that wasn't supposed to be there. My ear really picked it up. Sorry, I can't imagine why I had clicks. So what I did is tried as best I could initially to find where the click was in the waveform. Tried to cut as close to that position. Separated the two sections. And then I kept bringing this section out to hear where that sound was. And when I found it, I tucked it back in just to cut it off. And on the other side, I pulled it out to find it. And as soon as I find it, I just cut it off. The end of this one and the beginning of this one gets faded just a little bit. So this one fades at the end. This one fades at the beginning. And then you crossfade them just a little bit so that they fade into each other so it doesn't sound like a harsh jump. And it worked. That's cool. That's something we learned. Hopefully my little butterfly physical representation makes sense. That's fun. That's a good trick to know how to do for real.
Money. A mid-tier quarterback can earn $40 million a year. Not because he's elite, but because the fear of not having a quarterback is more terrifying than overpaying for a decent one. Teams aren't bidding for talent. They're bidding to avoid disaster.
Amen.
And that's the first sign of how rigged the salary system really is. When one position becomes so bidding to avoid disaster. And that's the first sign of how rigged the salary system really is. When one position becomes so overvalued that it inflates every contract around. When one position becomes so overvalued that it inflates every when one position becomes so overvalued that it inflates every contract around it, the whole league has to compensate, and the positions that it inflates every contract around it, the whole league has to compensate, and the positions that feel the pain the most, we'll get to those. The whole league has to compensate, and the positions that feel the pain the most, we'll get to those in a moment. But first, let's talk most. We'll get to those in a moment. Feel the pain the most. We'll get to those in a moment. But first, in a moment. We'll get to those in a moment. But first, let's talk about something GMs will never publicly admit. Why quarterbacks actually broke the salary system. The GMs will never publicly admit why quarterbacks actually broke the salary system. The quarterback pay explosion wasn't about talent. It was about fear. Think about it. Think about it. For every Patrick Mahomes, there's 10 quarterbacks who... Think about it. For every Patrick... The quarterback pay explosion wasn't about talent. It was about fear. Think about it. For every Patrick Mahomes, there's 10 quarterbacks who are fine. Not terrible. Not great. Just fine. But fine quarterbacks get elite contracts. You know why? Because if a team doesn't pay him, the alternative is usually worse. GMs aren't rewarded for being bold. They're rewarded for not being fired. Paying a mid-tier quarterback $40 million isn't a football decision. It's a job security decision. So when the fans ask, why did he get paid that much? The real answer is simple. Because someone else would have paid him any much. Paid that much. The real answer is simple. Because someone else would have paid him anyway. That's how the quarterback market became untouchable. And if one position becomes untouchable, someone else has to pay the price. Literally. The disposable positions and the players the league takes advantage of. The NFL has a word it loves. Replaceability. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how hard you work, or how much you sacrifice. If a team can replace you easily, your salary is capped. Your salary's capped by an invisible ceiling. The sacrifice. If a team can replace you by an invisible easily, your salary is replace you easily, your salary's capped by an invisible ceiling. These are the positions the league treats as disposable, even when they're crucial to the game. Number one, the league treats as disposable, even when they're crucial to the game. Number one, running backs. Now, this used to be true, but not so much anymore. You have guys like Saquon and JT that are changing things quite a bit. No position gets more punished, crucial to the game. The Silverdome enter running backs.
That was some of my commentary there I had to get out.
Running backs. No position gets more punished. No position gets more running backs. No position gets punished more by the salary system. Running backs take the most hits, have punished more by the salary system. Running backs take the most hits, have the shortest careers, and often running backs take the most hits, have the shortest career, take the most hits, have the no position gets punished more by the salary system. Running backs take the most hits, have the shortest careers, and often running backs take the more by the salary system. Running backs take the most hits, have the shortest careers, and often mean the most to an offense. And somehow they still careers and have the shortest careers and often mean the most to an offense. And somehow they still get paid like part-time employees. I think minimum salary in the NFL is $750,000 a year. I'm just saying. I think minimum employees. I'm just saying. Here's why. Teams track like part-time employees. Here's why. Teams track injury probability curves. They track touch wear accumulations. They track minimum viable replacement production. And the numbers tell them this. 95% of running back production can be replaced by others. Tell them this. 90% of running back production can be replaced by a cheap rookie. Can be replaced by a cheap rookie. Replaced by a cheap rookie. 5% of running back production can be replaced by a cheap running back production can be replaced by a cheap rookie. So, team be replaced by a cheap rookie. So, teams tag them, rotate them, use rookie. So, teams tag them, rotation can be replaced by a cheap rookie. So, teams tag them, rotate them, use them up, and move on. It's not personal, it's math. Number two, use them up and move on. It's not move on. It's not personal. It's rotate them, use them up, and move on. It's not personal. It's math. Number two, linebackers and safeties. Two positions that should be getting paid more, but don't. Why? Because modern schemes consider them interchangeable. Defensive coordinators believe they can turn mid-round athletes into high-level contributors with the right system. If your position is considered coachable, you lose money. 3. Tight ends. You'd think a position that blocks a lineman, you'd think a position that blocks like a lineman and catches like 3 tight ends. You'd think a position that blocks ends. You'd think a position that blocks like a lineman and catches like a receiver would get paid huge money. Nope, because the analytics say this. Most teams only use tight ends for 12 to 18% of target share. Low usage equals low value. This is the first part I would agree with. So far, everything else I don't agree with so much because the percentage equals low value. So far, everything else I don't agree with so much. Number 4, special teams. Kickers are responsible for a third of special teams. Kickers are responsible for a third of all NFL scoring. They win games, they lose games, they decide playoff runs, and they get paid like interns. Why? Because the league labels kicking as a Why? Because the league labels kicking. They get paid like interns. Why? Because the league labels kicking as a volatility position. Translation: if you miss 2 kicks, we'll replace ya. These are the players the NFL squeezes because they can. But if the league has disposable positions, it also has the exact opposite. Positions the league treats like gold. Which brings us to the next piece of the rigged puzzle. Yeah, I feel you, Brad. They wouldn't meet your salary demands. That's rough. The secret meet your salary brings us to the next piece of the rigged puzzle. Yeah, the secret high earner high earners teams never talk about. It's not just quarterbacks who cash out. There's a hidden hierarchy of positions that get paid way more than most fans realize. Not because they're glamorous, but because they're impossible to replace. That's the magic word again. Scarcity. 1. Left tackles. That's the magic word again. Scarcity. 1. Left tackles and right tackles. Not all big guys are created equal. If you can protect a quarterback, the league's most fragile investment, your value skyrockets. Elite tackle movement skills. Value skyrockets. Elite tackle investment, your value skyrockets. Elite tackle movement skills are so rare that teams will overpay massively just to secure stability. And here's the part nobody talks about. The left tackle boom is actually caused by the quarterback boom. If
It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the prudent thing to do would probably be to go ahead and call the stream now. I say that would be the prudent thing to do because my truck's in the shop getting an oil change. I got to drive my backup vehicle, and it's probably going to need a little attention before it'll carry me down the road. So, always a bummer to have to cut the stream short, but life happens, you know what I mean? So, thank you to everybody who came. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the YouTuber things because it helps the channel grow. It'll bring it to more people. Rewatch it 17 times. Watch all the shorts 480 times. I'm just saying stuff now. I'm sorry. Anyways, thanks for coming. I will be back tomorrow. It'll be the Hump Day stream. It happens a little later in the day because Hump Day stream starts. I meant to give you a little bit of that. The Hump Day stream starts. The boys' school, well, assuming he has school. If he doesn't have school for whatever reason, then the stream will start earlier than normal. If it's a normal school day, those Wednesdays start later, so I wouldn't start my stream till, well, 10 or 11. I guess that's kind of normal-ish. So anyways, thank you for coming. See you guys. Bye.
The crowd in the void where words take